Prior to their breakup in 2019, Morgan Wallen dated KT Smith for 3 years. In 2016, the Last Night singer and Smith started dating, and a few months later, they became engaged. Even after Wallen and Smith's engagement was called off, they continued to date intermittently for a few more years. They had already decided to part ways permanently when they welcomed their son, Indigo, in July 2020. Wallen spoke candidly to People in January 2021 about his co-parenting arrangement with Smith, expressing gratitude for having a child with someone I care about. "We're trying to figure it out as best we can given the circumstances," he remarked. "It's true that a lot of people have had children with someone they're not with before, but that doesn't make it any easier." Smith announced her engagement to Luke Scornavaco in March 2024, marking the start of a new relationship. She announced on Instagram the same week that the two had tied the knot, a few days before Wallen was taken into custody on April 7 for reportedly throwing a chair off a Nashville bar's roof. Who is the former girlfriend of Morgan Wallen? Everything you need to know about KT Smith's previous romance with the country music artist is provided here. Smith wrote in a blog post from December 2021 that she was born and raised in Florida until she was 12 years old. She was reared by her mother after her parents separated when she was a toddler and her father passed away when she was 4 years old. She claimed to have attended 10 to 15 different schools while residing in Florida, and she moved around a lot. She went to Knoxville, Tennessee, the home of her brother, her mother's son from a previous marriage, when she was 12 years old. She noted that although the family kept moving, she only went to 2 schools throughout that time, which gave her life more consistency. Smith stated, "My mom gave me the best life even being a single mom, despite moving. With each other, we've created and shared the best memories." Smith first interned in social media at her church before moving into sales when she was seeing Wallen. She did, however, resign after losing her automobile in an accident and getting a job at her apartment building. Wallen's career took off after she attracted over 100,000 followers on Instagram following a post about their relationship. "I accepted a full-time job offer from a social media management company after they contacted me," the blogger stated. "I never returned to the apartment job after maternity leave. Instead, I moved to a rental that was better suited for the little family we created." She continued by saying she wanted to launch a podcast later and keep expanding her company. When Wallen and Smith initially connected in 2016, they chatted on Snapchat. Their romance progressed swiftly, they began dating shortly after and became engaged in a few months. They did, however, call off their engagement, even though they continued dating for another 2 years. Wallen began to become increasingly well-known around that period, which caused tension between him and Smith. Although they decided to make their relationship more personal, Smith did go to the 2017 CMT Awards with him. Their relationship had become rocky by 2019, according to Smith's blog post. Smith claims that even though they shared a home, Wallen wasn't always dependable when he was traveling and she wasn't always able to go with him. In her 3rd year, she wrote, "We were on and off, still talking nonstop, seeing each other whenever he was in town, and I would still go on the road with him." However, it goes without saying that making poor choices at such a young age will result from being thrust into the spotlight. He wasn't the most devoted person. When Smith and Wallen became pregnant with their son, Indigo Wilder, they were already divorced. Wallen admitted to People that he had not anticipated becoming a single father, but he was nevertheless thrilled about it. "I desired a family similar to mine. You know, my parents are still together," he remarked. "My sisters and I were raised by them together. That's how I imagined my life would unfold. That was not the outcome that occurred. And when I first learned, I had some difficulty with that." On July 10, 2020, the young child was born, and Wallen later described himself as a changed man. He promised to be the dad you deserve as well as the co-parent your mother deserves in the post announcing Indigo's arrival. The ex-couple initially had some difficulties in their early days of co-parenting, Wallen told People. Smith stated on her blog. At first, co-parenting with Morgan was really tough because it was very new to both of us and I was still bitter towards him. I felt genuinely healed after time passed and Indy became my life. But by the time Indigo was 6 months old, Wallen said, his parents had established a schedule that was convenient for them and they were committed to ensuring his well-being. We recently figured everything out. However, since KT has been working with me from the beginning, I've had a lot of opportunities to see him, he stated. You would think a baby lived here if you were to walk into my house now. With images from a trip they traveled to Florida together, Smith and her now husband Luke Scornavaco initially introduced their romance on Instagram in June 2023. Scornavaco proposed to her on March 29, 2024, and the next day she revealed their engagement on Instagram. A few days later, Smith captioned a series of pictures from their engagement photo shoot on Instagram, featuring Indigo, with the words, "Swipe for a surprise." The last slide, which revealed that the couple had gotten married and secured a marriage license, revealed the surprise. The information was released just a few days before Wallen was detained in Nashville on 3 felony counts for allegedly hurling a chair from the roof of the 6-story Chiefs Bar on April 7 at approximately 11 p.m. local time.